Whatever you do, stick and move. Stick and move. Don't stand in front of that man. Do not stand in front of my man.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike,
Jake, what do you think of Jake?
Clown. Would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him.
Did you ever do a fight like that?
I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now.
On live television, Stephen A. Smith delivered a fiery critique of Gervonta "Tank" Davis, stating that the young fighter should feel ashamed. Known for his trademark intensity and no-holds-barred approach, Smith condemned Davis for agreeing to face YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul, calling the matchup more spectacle than sport. Describing the bout as a circus, Smith argued that it undermines the integrity of boxing, accusing Davis of choosing hype over true competition. The on-air confrontation became one of Smith's most passionate tirades yet. Unfazed by controversy, he made it clear this fight should not be celebrated, but rather criticized for what it represents in the sport.
Steven, I wanted you to come on the show to tell me that you think I'm a great boxer.
I think you're a damn good boxer with a lot of potential. And I got one problem with you, and I told you this already. You are skilled. You cannot be going in the ring beating up on dudes that you know don't box. You can't have a basketball player, UFC fighters. No, they strike. They don't box. There's a difference. They're not on your level.
As we all know, as a competitive sport boxing fan, this is nonsense. It doesn't make any sense for the sport, for Tank as a world champion fighting Jake Paul, as Jake Paul trying to become a world champion fighting Tank. None of that makes sense. Business-wise, this thing's gonna blow up. So let's see about the business of this thing. Let's see what the narrative is for this fight. Because again, I think Jake's gonna come in there and try to knock Tank Davis out. If Tank's not taking him seriously, believe it or not, that potentially could happen. And I'll explain why. The breakdown. Let's go.
Smith highlighted the dramatic size and experience gap between the fighters, pointing out that Jake Paul often weighs over 200 pounds, while Gervonta Davis competes at 135. He questioned whether such a spectacle might harm boxing's reputation, warning that high-profile crossover events risk turning the sport into more of a sideshow than a true competition. Smith also addressed the controversial majority draw between Davis and Lamont Roach in March. He acknowledged Davis's impressive record and insisted that criticism was unwarranted. In his view, Davis had shown genuine championship composure, refusing to falter under doubt or controversy. His readiness to accept a rematch immediately was presented as the hallmark of a confident fighter, eager to reaffirm his dominance at the highest level.
I can't buy the hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane, it's hard to me to believe a year later that you're gonna be in any condition to really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I wanna say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're going to have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please with sugar on top. I'm interested. Gervonta Davis might be every bit as box office as Maverick himself. As exciting, as electric, because this dude performs every time out, y'all. Wherever Davis goes, wherever he fights, fans justifiably follow. He's that special. And Davis is without a doubt one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world right now. Don't you even doubt it.
Smith even ranked Davis among the top 3 boxers in the world, praising his power, skill, and knockout ability. He emphasized that Tank is a world champion and a highly respected talent in boxing. In contrast, Jake Paul is primarily known as a YouTuber and a newcomer to the sport, coming from the entertainment world. Smith argued that, for an established and proven champion like Davis, stepping into the ring with a relatively inexperienced opponent could harm his reputation. According to Smith, this matchup falls far below Tank's level, which is why he insisted that Davis should feel ashamed for participating.
The world to recognize this is one of the top 5 fighters on the planet. He might be top 3.
Yeah.
You can make a legitimate argument for him to be in 3, 1, or whatever. Frank Martin, props to him, came into the fight 18-0, 12 knockouts. Clearly did not have the power to keep Gervonta Davis from stalking him from opening tap. That's what he did. He stalked him and stalked him and stalked him, okay? Frank Martin caught him with some good shots. Gervonta Davis kept coming. So he can punch, he's a knockout artist. He can box, he's not given enough credit for it, okay? He closes, he finishes. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you, okay? And by the way, he is an elite boxer. And so the time has come for this man.
Stephen A. Smith expressed strong disapproval of the recent trend of mismatched exhibition. Bouts, including the high-profile Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. He stated that the situation was both disappointing and, at times, even disturbing, bluntly calling out the mismatch. Smith stressed that Jake Paul needs to face real competition, skilled, contemporary boxers, not former athletes or stars who are past their prime. Despite his criticism, he acknowledged Paul's promotional skills and the attention he brings to boxing. However, he made it clear that true credibility in the sport can only come from competing against legitimate, top-level talent.
Jake Paul is a professional. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Better be a Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican Monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation. The time has come for Jake Paul to step into the ring with a cat who actually boxes for a living and give us that fight. I appreciate the fact of him promoting. I appreciate him having the cachet as a former YouTuber turned boxer. I like Jake Paul. I respect Jake Paul. I'm just saying, because I like him and because I respect him, I want to see him in the ring. And I don't want to hear, I know his numbers are better, but then he gonna say, I don't need Canelo, Canelo needs me. Well, wait a minute. It ain't just about popularity, bruh.
After Gervonta Davis issued a challenge following the Tyson fight, Jake Paul lightened the atmosphere with a sharp, self-aware joke. During the post-fight press conference, Paul hinted that he would be open to a bout with Davis, but couldn't resist poking fun at Davis's height. He compared the situation to weight class rules and jokingly wondered if a similar restriction applied for height. It was a pointed yet playful jab, highlighting the notable size difference while also adding a touch of humor to an otherwise tense promotional moment.
Right. Jake Paul responds to Gervonta Tank Davis' call out and absolutely takes the moment and the opportunity to clown Gervonta Tank Davis's height in the sport of boxing. And he says here, is there a height limit in the sport of boxing? This is where Jake Paul says, and his team, Gervonta Tank Davis needs me. We don't need Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's listen here.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Raleigh Romero views the Paul versus Davis matchup on Netflix as a major attraction, particularly for younger audiences. In the US, he noted that while a fight like Canelo versus Crawford holds significant appeal for Mexican and Latin American fans, Paul versus Davis taps into a different, more entertainment-driven demographic.